So we're all playing Gears of War 2 now, which is predominantly known as the sequel to Game of the Year 2006. We all want to know if it lives up to the standards of its predecessor, and in many ways it does. But some of you thought I wouldn't play this game, so you took it upon yourself to tell me.
Did you honestly think I was gonna forget about it? My review of the first one was only 4 games ago. That and more on this week's edition of Requests, Suggestions, and Demands Are the Same Thing! Trademark. It seems that some people go beyond just wanting me to review games. Some people just want to be me. A series of simple Google searches has revealed this. First up, Master Chief Pones on Xfire. I don't know who this gentleman is, but he has made an egregious mistake. I am not a Halo fanatic. The second one is on what I guess is a wrestling fan forum. Afro Kane claims to be Storm Dain and to have made a classic detective skit. Actually, it's called OTB Classic, a detective skit. Yeah, just take a guess at who left you that reply. I think I'll proceed with the review now. Of course, you're going to play as Marcus Phoenix in Epic's newest game, Gears of War 2, or as I like to call it, Fun Times with the Lancer 2, Delta Squad's Trip to Sunshine Valley. You're going to start off the game training this rookie known as P. Pants Carmine, and you're going to engage in another battle that's supposedly going to end this war. Once again, very little information has been released about this war, just that it's been 15 years since they emerged from the Earth and started killing us because they didn't like our muffin recipe or something like that. You're also going to be on the lookout for Dom's wife, who he was separated from since the war began. I guess Marcus didn't have a wife. His heart's full of testosterone. It goes without saying that if you like the first one, you're going to like this one. Now, with that going without saying being said, there are some things that you should know. There's considerably more downtime, and even though stop and pop is explained at the beginning, you're encouraged to use different weapons. Instead of curb stomping an enemy, you can use him as a shield. Also, the Lancer is used more responsibly. But don't think that there's any less blood. Oh no, this is probably the bloodiest game I've ever played. Ever have those heavy flow months? The graphics look fantastic, better than the first, for more than one reason. I mean, it has a different art direction, so it no longer has the same color depth as that movie 300. And bloom is used responsibly. I'm convinced that if Metroid Prime 3 had HD graphics, it would look like this. Suck on that, Day&amp SWTFU. The game looks great and has fun third-person shooting, but for a game that's so widely accepted, I gotta find some reasons to hate on it. In the words of Mario, here we go! They must have updated the engine so much that they introduced some glitches, like when the rookie wouldn't follow me unless I shot him. Or on my first time through when I was on this boat, Dom didn't appear on it, so Marcus ended up talking to himself. I know Indiana Jones survived 3 waterfalls in a row, but it's hard to swallow anybody surviving 1. It's no longer texture popping, it's now texture smearing. There's a disturbing amount of rail shooting in Gears 2. It's like after they finished the first game, the design team went and played Nightfire and decided that they wanted this crap in their game.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Having an impenetrable animal as a moving wall sounds pretty cool, but makes me wonder if they're running out of ideas with this stuff. When I was walking through that giant worm and I saw that there was a perfect little path through the acid, I thought it was uninspired design. It's especially apparent in this one level where you're supposed to be overwhelmed by these super strong specimen, but since none of them have weapons, you can just chainsaw through them all. While it was fun, Marcus's rebel yell is starting to wear on me. You can use the campaign's different difficulties for replay value, but I think multiplayer steals the show. There's a plethora of deathmatch modes, including endurance, which is just my style. And they made a capture the flag that I actually like. There's one flag and one base, and the flag is a dude. Oddly enough, I couldn't connect with strangers, but the gentleman I played with is Tyler12. He says,
Epic Games should have worked a bit more on the matchmaking system in Gears of War 2 Online. Well, we could have waited for like 20 minutes, which I think is pretty bad.
And while I'm at it, I think I owe Jahani Vincent a shout out. Is that how you pronounce your name? But all the stuff that you can do in multiplayer, you can do alone with bots. That takes me back to the good old days of Perfect Dark and the Combat Simulator, when I didn't need friends. Subtract the bad from the good, and I still think that Gears of War 2 is an incredibly well-made title. I would call it badass, but then I just sound like everybody else. Instead, I'll say, I admire Delta Squad's dedication to serving the human race. And you can't stop the coal train, baby! I am left to wonder if they're going to turn this into a trilogy like so many other franchises, or whether they'll ring it for every dime like Saw and Mario Tennis. At any rate, I'll be waiting for the prequel entitled Fun Times with the Lancer Zero, Marcus Phoenix Gets a Timeout.